Top Nigerian leaders under the National Consultative Forum are asking former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, to lead the body of former presidents and heads of state to President Muhammadu Buhari. They want the Buhari administration or President Buhari himself to hold a special session of the National Council of State that will table the current agitations of Nigerians for a restructured country to stop the threat to the nation's existence. Well, the eminent personalities who converged under the banner of leaders of conscience in Abuja include former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali Umar Naaba, Professor Pat Utomi, former Minister Obi Ezekwesili, among others. They also want the powers of state governors reduced, as they claim that governors have hijacked Nigeria's democracy.
On the other statements, to temporarily halt their well-deserved rest and take the task of saving Nigerians from complete destruction. In this regard, former president, former head of state, all the former service chiefs and so on will be co-opted into a national elders committee. The former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, is also being requested to call a meeting of the presidents and heads of states and vice presidents, so that the serving president may call for an enlarged council of state meeting, which will also include other former military governors and state governors, both serving and retired. And this will also be with the representation of the youth. The purpose of this meeting is to be able to correct the defect in leadership structure or leadership failure in Nigeria itself.
Whether we are in government or not, we feel responsible enough to come out and meet and douse the tension that is bedeviling this country.
This group is also trying to communicate to those in power and those around the world who are watching Nigeria that the Nigerian people are united in wanting better government. That the Nigerian people are together. As our national anthem used to say, the old one, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand.
Well, for more on this, we have Edozie Ezeugwa, the President General of Eastern Union Congress, and we also have Tanko Yunusa, the head of Public Affairs, National Consultative Front, in our studio. Gentlemen, you are welcome. Let me start with you, Ezer. The NEF spokesperson was here. And in their communique, one of the things they said is that the president should let the Igbo people break away if they choose to. What do you make of that statement?
Well, thank you so much. Good evening, Nigeria. That is their own opinion. That's their own opinion. They have voiced out what they want to voice out, but I doubt that should be the opinion of the Southeast anyway. I fear that what the people from the Southeast are saying is marginalizations. Let there be a country where there will be equity and justice. Restructure this nation. The country is overdue for restructuring. This agitation that is coming up, people are trying to revolt against injustice. And this is not different from what you are seeing from the Southwest, Middle Belt, and all over the South too. So if they decide to say that Southeast should be given the opportunity to choose whether they are going to belong to Nigeria or not, that is their own problem. They are not in position to decide for the Southeast. Southeast will decide what they want.
Okay, let me bring in Tanko Yunusa, who is in our off-site studio. You've heard what Ezeugwa had to say, or has to say, about the position of the Northern Elders Forum. As a Northerner, do you think that position from the NEF represents the views of a preponderance of Northerners, or is it a standalone view? Exactly what do you think is the way forward? I mean, in that report, there was talk about the need for restructuring of the mind. What are your thoughts?
Every Nigerian loves this country, except if you are being hypocritical about it. The only truth about it is that, just like as my colleagues said, every part of this country have an agitated mind. Let me make it clear. If one Southerner is being killed, 10 is being killed in the north, in the far north. Take a case of Zamfara, for example. On a daily basis, people are being killed like chickens. You just made a report now about how many students were being carted away, almost 200 plus, if I'm not mistaken, from Tegina. All those, up to today, those children are still there. These are children of the poor people, the downtrodden, those who are struggling hard to survive. So in every part of this country, everybody is agitating for a restructured Nigeria. A restructured Nigeria that will be effective, where a southern person or southeastern person will feel completely that there is justice and fairness and equity in the land. For a very long time, we who have been nationalistic in our thinking have always been saying that each of these zones have been agitating for one thing or the other. In the southeast, there's a serious marginalization that they've been crying that while each of the zones have 6 minimum of states, they have only 5, and they needed one more state. And they are saying that there should be inclusiveness in appointment of governors. Every part of this country will agree with them in that particular respect. So also in the North Central. In the Northwest, where I come from, we have a teeming population that has not been put for productive use. Rather, there have been opportunity for them to be used for other social malfeasance, and they are not happy. Why you are seeing that there is no any kind of uproar in the North at the moment is that the majority of the Northern people are not happy with the state of situation in this country. So no Southerner or Easterner or any Westerner should feel that probably the North is in a comfortable situation. I think we are even far worse off. So together we can tackle the issues, not profiling certain part of this country, but deal with it collectively.
All right, good, fantastic. Deal with it collectively. We'll keep you on pause. We'll come back and we'll continue with two of you in our studios. You're still watching News Night here on Arise News. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on News Night. We still have Edozie Ezeugwa, the President General of Eastern Union Congress, and we also have Tanko Yunusa, the Head of Public Affairs, National Consultative Front, in our off-site studio. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for staying with us. Ezeugwa, let me come back to you. Based on your submission earlier, if I heard you correctly, IPOB's secessionist movement does not represent the views of the Southeast. Well, the NEF is saying that the leaders, political leaders in the Southeast, have not really come out, loudly to condemn Nnamdi Kanu and, of course, IPOB. And I'd also like you to comment on the call by the NCF that former heads of states, led by Gowon, should approach President Buhari to find a way forward, especially as far as it concerns restructuring.
Thank you so much. First of all, let me a little bit, go back to what the Northern Elders Forum said, their publicity secretary. They are not statutorily in a position to decide who belongs to Nigeria or not. So the issues of asking the President Buhari to allow the Easterners to secede or go is not their responsibilities. When issues come, we will deal with it. So we are not fools, the people from the Southeast. Then back to what the question you asked. whether the people from the Southeast are not speaking of or condemning whatever.
The political leaders especially.
The political leaders. The political leaders in the Southeast have spoken enough. They have spoken enough. The only thing is that the people who feel they'll select the one they want to hear and want the one that praises them, like what the Northern Elders, leaders were saying, the publicity secretary was saying. When the president, after swearing in at 2015, he made one bloody statement just like that he cannot, when he was confronted by the international distance, he said, look, he cannot compare those who gave him 5% and those who gave him 97%, in terms of appointment, in terms of infrastructures, development, and the rest of them. That one is there. And when you look at his mode of appointments, people from the southeast of Nigeria, especially from the east, were completely excluded from his appointment. From the service chiefs, we are not there. When issues concerning the Southeast are being taken on the Security Council, no single one person is there. When issues concerning to deploy the military, to use the brutal force against the people from the Southeast, not even one are there when decisions were taken. Neither from the leaders at the state level, even at the governors and all the political leaders, they are not involved. You are taking a decision on behalf of how to deal with me, and no one is there. And look at the recent statement made by the president, saying we are trying to reopen the old wound, reminding us after how many years, how we are dealt with, that they are prepared to do again. And when you listen to the acting Inspector General of Police, when he was inaugurating the Security Council meeting, security deployed in the Southeast against the so-called people he termed as IPOP and the Asian and the rest of them. You know the word he used. Go after them, kill them, take the war to their doorsteps, wherever they are. You don't ask anybody to come and ask you. Any problem, the press will shout, but at the end of the day, the whole thing will come to her.
That was a general statement, not particularly to any sect.
I'm coming.
Let me just hold you, because we have Tanko here, so we'll get back to you. Then any statement you've not made, maybe you could make. Let's just bring in Tanko. Tanko, you're of the head public affairs, the Consultative Forum that just held a meeting. We just watched the VT. Now, when you say a special session of the National Council of States, what are you people really looking at? And the National Council of State at best will be an advisory body. How are you sure the president will accept, one, to convene this meeting, and then two, to implement what comes out of that meeting?
It is our minimal request of the president to do, considering the urgent nature of the situation. We've come to understand that the situation is becoming more dynamic and more urgent. And so therefore, we feel as nationalists, we should employ on the president to call this meeting so that his own colleague who have been in the same situation or been in the position of president before can look at him face to face to tell him the situation, his inaction or his action, what it will do to the country and what it might not do to the country if he doesn't take some decisive position. Look, let me be clear. If the president have taken some candid and stringent position immediately when certain situations are happening in this country, we wouldn't have been in this particular lacuna, as it were. If decisions have been taken to take care of situations and the way they are happening, affecting any part of this country without any sentiment or tribal or religious inclination, I think a lot of the agitation that is happening around the country will have fizzled out. So our calling of all ex-head of state to come as a matter of urgency is a matter of the highest level of governance decisions that may be taken, so that Mr. President will know that the situation has gone beyond a tea party, but Nigerians are looking forward to a decisive and inclusive decision that will restore confidence, bring value, and restore unity in the eye of every Nigerian and then the Nigerian nation in general.
Ask you the same question. Of course, I did ask before we went to Tanko Yunusa. The NCF has said that, you know, former head of state Gowon should lead former heads of states and presidents to call on President Buhari to ensure restructuring is the way to go. What are your thoughts on that? Well,
but that is proper thing to do. Mm-hmm. You don't have to, you know, allow the country to crash to such an extent that you can no longer, you know, redeem whatever.
But what kind of restructuring are we talking about? The
restructuring we are talking about is a genuine holistic restructuring. When you look at 2014 confab, all things inclusive, this country have to be restructured. Restructuring in such a way that other ethnic nationalities be part of the governance, will be part of Nigerian projects. You don't have to exclude so many people. Look at what is happening in the Southeast. You decide.
What will it take for the Southeast to have that sense of inclusion? What will it take?
Yeah, you must.
Very briefly, if
yes,
you can.
What the president, if they want to open up, they have to, you know, include them in the areas of appointment, infrastructure development, include them in major decision making, you know, body. They must have to include people from the other, not only the Southeast, from the, you know, the South, you know. Then we will have to, you know, consider this in particular is very important when you are asking me about the restructuring. In restructuring, the devolution of power to other federating unit, maybe zone, maybe states, regions. Okay, returning some of this in exclusive lists to the states.
All right. Just a very quick one, Tanko. You want the powers of state governors reduced because, according to the Consultative Forum, they have hijacked Nigeria's democracy. How have they done this? That's one. And how do you propose those powers should be reduced? In less than 30 seconds, if you can.
Yes, I've been having meetings, and then I have opportunity to listen to the side of the governors. Some of the powers that they are supposed to have, they are not having it, and so it becomes difficult for them to police their states. For example, if they want to give suggestion to a police commissioner, they have to wait till they get to the national headquarters. And one way or the other, what we are saying is that there must be a devolution of powers where the local government will be carried along. Look, there's been a disdain within the local government and the governors and the people. There must be a communication. You know, the local government are closer to the people. If we take away everything from this local government, it becomes difficult for the people on the grassroots to feel the impact of governance. So we must find a way of synergizing the local government with the people and then the state, and at the end of it on the federal level. Probably we will have a kind of command control from level A, B, and C, being that the local government will have their own control within level C, the state government will have their control with level B, and then the federal government. That way there will be a synergy of control and accommodation within both the network of the local government, the state, and then the federal government, with certain powers being given to the state, to the governor, so that there will be a devolution of power, so that everybody will know that we are all together in terms of governance. But as it is now, there is a disenfranchisement within this particular level of governance.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Tanko Yunusa, Head Public Affairs, NCF, and Edozie Ezeugwa, President General, Eastern Union Congress. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.